Behind the gates of Mimosa Bay, you'll find a private boat ramp, waterfront access, protected wetlands, and a neighborhood that somehow feels both established and brand new. But does all of that add up to a neighborhood that's worth considering? Let's take a look. Mimosa Bay is known for having one of the largest amenity packages in the area, but that doesn't tell the whole story as to why it's become such a popular neighborhood in Sneads Ferry. Today, I'm going to show you what it actually looks like to live here and share with you a few things you need to consider before deciding if this neighborhood is a good fit for you and your family. Mimosa Bay is a gated waterfront community in Sneads Ferry. The neighborhood was established in the mid-2000s and it covers approximately 300 acres with wooded home sites, ponds, marshfront areas, and access to the Intracoastal Waterway. It's a pretty large community and there are two gated entrances to enter different sections of the neighborhood. One of the first things that I noticed when driving through the neighborhood is the amount of mature trees that were left, not just in between the homes, but actually in the front yards, in the backyards, and in the community areas. This might sound like a small thing, but I really do believe it adds to the upscale feel of the homes in this area. Even in sections with newer homes, the neighborhood doesn't feel like the entire area was cleared and built from scratch. It feels like it has been here for a while and like the homes are cozy and lived in. Now let's talk about the location. Mimosa Bay is located off of Old Folkestone Road in Sneads Ferry. This is a road that has gotten progressively busier over the last several years as more developments have popped up right around this area. That's important to keep in mind because traffic can be a bit of a pain sometimes, especially during heavy traffic seasons in the area. Now, if you are working on Camp Lejeune, here are some commute times you can anticipate. It will take you about 15 minutes to get from Mimosa Bay to the Stones Bay Gate, about 10 minutes to get to the back gate or Courthouse Bay Gate to Camp Lejeune, and you can expect about 25 minutes to get to the gate at New River. You can anticipate those traffic times changing during the summer months when we do have a lot of people wanting to visit Sneads Ferry and the beautiful beaches right across the bridge on Topsail Island. Speaking of that, you are only about 10 minutes from the closest public beach access on Topsail Beach when you're living in Mimosa Bay, which is pretty darn nice. The neighborhood is also just a short drive to the grocery store, restaurants, and other amenities in Sneads Ferry. So overall, this location gives you a coastal setting without requiring you to live on the island. And that is the major appeal for a lot of people who choose to live on this side of Camp Lejeune during their time stationed here. Now, let me tell you about the amenities here in the neighborhood because Mimosa Bay has one of the biggest amenity packages of the neighborhoods in the area. So I do feel like this is really where the neighborhood can shine. The community includes a private boat ramp and a dock with access to the surrounding waterway. When we were filming here, there was actually a family fishing from the dock. They were using a net to catch shrimp and small fish, and then fishing poles to catch the larger fish. And I don't have video of it because it just seemed weird for me to video these people, but I want to share that to really give you an example of the lifestyle that people are living here in the neighborhood. Additionally, when we were there, we saw someone launching their boat right from that ramp area. It is very clear that the amenities are a big call that people feel to live in this neighborhood. The setting is also just genuinely beautiful between the marsh, the waterways. We saw quite a few birds flying over the waterways, pelicans and egrets, mature trees, and this natural surrounding is just not something that you always see in neighborhoods around here, and it's a big part of the overall character of Mimosa Bay. But beyond just the waterfront and the boat ramp, there is a big list of amenities that this neighborhood offers. There is a large pool, there are tennis courts, there's basketball hoops, there's picnic areas, and a very large clubhouse that can be used by community members to host events, and reserved for different get-togethers in the neighborhood. Now, I only have exterior footage of the clubhouse, but it is a substantial building, and it serves as kind of the main focal point of that amenity area. And I also wanted to say I did not take videos of the pool, but I can assure you it's a great size pool. The reason I don't have video is every time I stopped by, there were people swimming and using it. And I'm just not creepy enough to take videos of people in a pool and post them online. So instead, here are some marketing photos of that pool so you can see just how big and nice it is, and you can know for certain that people are using it. This is a community where people are really outside and involved, which is pretty cool to see. One other note about the neighborhood, you will see a lot of people driving around on golf carts. So many of the residents of this neighborhood own a golf cart and use it to drive around to the different amenities in the neighborhood. And it just feels like a good example to share with you about the coastal atmosphere and the relaxed lifestyle that people are enjoying here. Now, of course, all these amazing amenities do come with a cost. The HOA fee for the neighborhood is currently, as of 2026, around $1,300 a year. Now, this is something that you need to investigate if you are looking at purchasing in the neighborhood, because these fees can always change. So make sure that you are following up on what the current fees are if you are seriously looking at a home in this neighborhood. And in talking about being serious about the neighborhood, let's look at what kind of home you can get and what it's going to cost you to live here in Mimosa Bay. Now, over the last 12 months, homes within Mimosa Bay have sold from $410,000 all the way up to $680,000, with a median price in there of just under $500,000. Over the last 12 months, there have been 30 homes sold within the neighborhood, and those homes have ranged from about 2,000 square feet all the way up to 3,500 square feet. Now, on the market today, as of this recording, you'll find multiple homes listed in the mid 400,000s. You'll also find a couple right around the mid to upper 500,000s, and even a home currently listed for 850,000. Now, this home is not typical for the neighborhood. This is one with more waterfront, a much larger lot. You'll also find a couple, not many, but just a couple lots that are still for sale in Mimosa Bay. Those range from $70,000 to $80,000 typically, depending on the lot. It can go higher or lower, but if you are interested in building a custom home, that is still an option in this neighborhood, but lots are pretty limited. There are not too many left in the neighborhood. Okay, so now that we've really talked up this neighborhood, you may be thinking, what's the catch? And there's not exactly a catch, but there are some things that I think buyers should really know before deciding that Mimosa Bay is a good fit for them. First of all, let's talk about wetlands. We are on the coast, and because of that, there are a lot of marsh and wetlands in this area. Specifically, in Mimosa Bay, there are sections of the neighborhood that are considered protected wetlands. Those are areas where you may not build. There are even some lots within the neighborhood that include these wetlands. So an important thing to know and an important thing to consider when you are looking at a home is if that lot does contain any protected wetlands and any areas that are not going to be buildable for you, because this will affect how you can use your land. Another thing that you should take into consideration is your utilities, and specifically I'm talking about sewer versus septic. Some of the homes in Mimosa Bay are on septic, meaning that the home has its own private septic tank that is maintained by the homeowner. Other homes in the neighborhood are on community sewer, meaning that they pay a monthly sewer bill. Neither one is necessarily better than the other, but it is important to know which type of system the home is on and to educate yourself, especially if you're not familiar with septic, on how to maintain the tank. Okay, another thing I want you to consider is the HOA and if living in an HOA community is right for you and your family. While your HOA fees do pay for these amazing amenities, it also comes with certain restrictions that homeowners are required to follow within the neighborhood. That means if there are changes that you want to make to your home, like say you want to add a shed, build an addition, build a fence, things that affect the look of your home and the uniformity of the neighborhood, those have to be approved by the HOA. So you fill out a form, request your change, and they say yes or no. Some people really don't want that oversight, and having that oversight is enough for them to say an HOA is not for me. However, the benefit of this HOA system is that it maintains the integrity and the property values within the neighborhood by restricting neighbors from doing things that would have a negative impact on the neighborhood as a whole. And the last consideration, which honestly is just kind of something silly, but you will probably not see this in the MLS listings. However, I have insider knowledge that there have been a few alligator sightings within Mimosa Bay, specifically in their ponds. We don't get a ton of gators here in the Sneads Ferry area. There are only a few that hang out regularly, but if you are in the neighborhood, be on the lookout. Okay, that is not to scare you. It's just a fun little fact about the neighborhood. Who is Mimosa Bay a good fit for? Well, I would say it's a good fit for somebody who will use those neighborhood amenities to really get the most out of that HOA fee. That means somebody who maybe has a boat will use that boat launch, who likes fishing and will use the dock, somebody who's going to be using the pool, the clubhouse, the playgrounds. Those are all things that really fit the lifestyle of living in Mimosa Bay. Mimosa Bay might not be the best fit for you if you prefer a community without an HOA or if you're looking for something a little smaller and a little quieter. Also, probably not a good fit if you're not going to use those amenities. You don't want to be paying that HOA fee without getting the benefit of what the neighborhood is offering. Okay, so we started this by asking if Mimosa Bay is worth considering as a neighborhood to live in around Camp Lejeune. And my answer is, for the right family, the right buyer, absolutely yes. If you are looking for a place with a community feel and you will use these amazing amenities, the neighborhood is beautiful, it's definitely a neighborhood that you should consider for your time here at Camp Lejeune. If you would like to explore more the homes in Mimosa Bay or any of these other neighborhoods around Camp Lejeune, I would absolutely love to help you. Please send me a text or an email, and I would love to connect with you and learn a little bit more about the lifestyle you are looking to create while you're here at Camp Lejeune. I am a military spouse of 15 years. I have lived in the area for over 10 years, and I know a whole awful lot about what it's like to be stationed at Camp Lejeune. I would love to be a resource for you and your family and help you make the most out of your time here. So I will see you in the next video. Please leave a comment if this was helpful, and I hope to hear from you soon. Okay, bye.